Have you ever walked into a room and felt that something wasn't right, even though everything looked perfectly normal? People were laughing, nothing seemed out of place, yet somehow you could feel it. A smile that didn't quite reach someone's eyes, a pause that lasted a little too long, a voice that sounded cheerful, but underneath, something felt heavy. Before everyone else had settled into the moment, your mind had already built a story. Did I interrupt something? Are they upset with me? The strange part is, you're usually right more often than people expect. You notice patterns, contradictions, tiny shifts in behavior. People call you perceptive, intuitive, emotionally intelligent. But what they don't see is what happens after everyone goes home. While they're asleep, your mind is still awake, replaying conversations, searching for clues inside words everyone else forgot 5 minutes ago. What looks like intuition from the outside often feels like imprisonment from the inside. Because eventually, you stop observing life. You start investigating it. Every silence becomes a question. Every relationship becomes a puzzle to solve. The greatest irony? The more clearly you see the world, the harder it becomes to simply live in it. Most people think this is overthinking. It isn't. Overthinking is something your mind does. Hyper-awareness is something your nervous system becomes. Imagine a smoke alarm so sensitive it rings every time someone makes toast. Eventually, you wouldn't trust the silence. You'd always expect the next alarm. That's life for many hyper-aware people. Their minds search for danger not because they enjoy it, but because deep inside they learn that missing something could be dangerous. A lesson that begins earlier than most people realize. It usually begins with survival. Imagine a child in a home where peace could vanish without warning. One day laughter, the next shouting. The child learns that the safest child isn't the strongest. It's the one who notices first. So they pay attention to footsteps, to whether the dishes are set down gently or a little harder than usual. These details become predictions, because predicting danger feels safer than being surprised. Years pass. The child grows up. The dangerous house disappears. But the brain never gets the update. It still believes its job is to stay one step ahead of disaster. As an adult, that person walks into an office instead of a chaotic home, and the scanning continues. The boss says, "Can we talk tomorrow?" Most people forget it by lunch. But their mind writes stories. Did I make a mistake? Am I about to lose my job? The next morning, the boss smiles. You're getting promoted. The danger was never real, but the body experienced it anyway. Hyper-aware people don't suffer because bad things happen more often. They suffer because their nervous system rehearses bad things constantly. Over time, you stop listening to what people say and start listening to what they might mean. A friend says they're busy this week and you hear they're losing interest. It's exhausting. Not because people are difficult, but because your brain refuses to leave anything unfinished. But here's the truth. Worry has never prevented pain. It only lets you experience it twice. Once in imagination, once in reality. Sometimes only in imagination. Here's what took psychologists decades to understand. The problem isn't awareness, it's identification. Somewhere along the way, you began believing everything you notice deserves your attention, as if the brain has one rule: if I noticed it, I must deal with it. But noticing something and carrying it are two completely different things. Imagine standing beside a highway. Thousands of cars race past. You see every one, but you don't chase them. Thoughts are no different. The healthiest minds aren't the ones with fewer thoughts. They're the ones that know which thoughts deserve a seat at the table and which can simply keep driving. The shift begins with a simple question. Is this actually happening? Or is my mind trying to protect me? A friend takes long to reply, and your mind fills the silence. Pause. Take one breath. Then ask, what evidence do I actually have? Not feelings, evidence. Very often there isn't any, just an old alarm doing its job. The goal isn't to silence the alarm. It's to stop treating every alarm as a fire. Certainty won't bring peace. The happiest people aren't the ones with the most certainty. They're the ones who made peace with uncertainty. Because uncertainty isn't a flaw in reality. It's the price of being alive. No amount of awareness can eliminate pain, but it can help you appreciate moments you'd otherwise ignore. A quiet conversation, a warm cup of coffee, a laugh with someone you love. Ironically, those are the moments hyper-aware people miss because they're attending to everything except the present. Then one day, something shifts. The room hasn't changed. The world hasn't become less complicated. You have. You still notice the silence, but you no longer rush to explain it. You still feel anxiety rise, but instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" you smile and think, "My nervous system is trying to protect me again." And strangely, the moment you stop fighting your mind finally stops fighting you. Awareness was never meant to become armor, something heavy you wear expecting another battle. Wisdom is different. It teaches you to inhabit the present. Maybe that's the lesson hyper-aware people spend their lives learning. Not how to see less, but how to carry less. Your gift was never noticing everything. It's choosing what deserves your attention and having the courage to let the rest pass by. When that day comes, your awareness doesn't disappear. It becomes lighter, gentler, like sunlight through a window instead of a spotlight searching for danger. And for the first time in a long time, you stop surviving every moment. You finally begin living it. So if you saw yourself somewhere in here, tell me in the comments which part hit the hardest. The depth you carry was never the flaw. It's just been waiting all this time for you to hold it kindly. Until next time, be curious. Take care of your mind.